Welcome to Super Agents Live. This is the one place where you can come and hear the most successful people in real estate. You'll hear how these super agents built their businesses, how they stay productive, and how they stay motivated. Who am I? My name's Toby Salgado, and I made my first $1 million in real estate. And I'm your host for the next 30 minutes while we talk to yet another amazing real estate entrepreneur. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Yeah!
Hey everybody, what's up? How's it going? Hey, how's your week been? It's September. Summer is winding down. How are you changing your business? Are you adapting to a new environment? Now, speaking of new environments, I want to share something. Now, today's episode is not going to be a long-form interview format like you normally hear from me and normally I do. But I've been doing some research this week on where this market's going, what's happening. And I found some stuff that, to be honest with you, was a little bit concerning. And it's something that I think you guys should know. So here's what's going on. If you look at the market, now when I say market, this is primarily large metropolitan cities, right? So you have Seattle, Miami, pretty much all of California. What you're seeing in this environment is that in the upper range, and I'm going to go over 3 bullet points here, and then I'm going to talk about what you guys can do, what we can do, what we all can do to sort of adapt to this environment. Again, large metropolitan cities. This is not Poughkeepsie, New York. What we're seeing is in the upper range, in the luxury range. And luxury for you, I don't know where you're at, right? So I'm in San Diego, of course, and luxury here is 1.5 and up. For you, it might be 600, 700, it could be 500, I don't know. But what we're seeing in the upper range is this: longer days on market. And what happens when we start to see longer days on market, when inventory is not turning, in 30 days or 60 days, longer days on market, what happens is we start to see pressure on price, right? We start to see pressure on price first, and then secondarily, we start to see decreases in pricing, right? Because if I'm on the market for 90 days, nothing's happening. I list my house at 1.5, list my house at $1 million, nothing's happening. Well, geez, I better reduce it to 950. Now, the scary thing about that is, there's very much a chain reaction. If I have my house listed for $1 million, and it's been on the market for 90 days with no offers or a bunch of offers at the 950 range, I reduce it to 950. Now, what happens? My neighbor across the street, who also has, or down the street, or 4 streets over, whatever, also has a house listed at $1 million. I just reduced my price to 950. Well, he's got to react, right? He has to say, well, geez, now I'm 50 grand over. I'm going to reduce it. So number one, what we're seeing in the upper range, and this is primarily in the luxury markets, is longer days on market, pressure on price. However, what we're seeing also at the same time is prices on the lower range accelerating. We're experiencing, and really, I'm going to roll over 3 bullet points, and I can tell you right now, we have never seen a market like this. Nobody's ever seen a market like this, ever, in the history of America. And there's a few reasons for that. But, okay, so bullet point number 1, price pressure, longer days on market in the luxury, upper range, and then prices accelerating in the lower range. Now, what that says to me is that the smart money has left the building, right? And the less educated in the lower range, they're still operating, right? They're going blindly, right? Hey, geez. And again, look, here's the thing. If we take a look at today's environment in 2016, and if you were around in 2006, there are some very, very eerie similarities. Very eerie similarities. Now, again, in San Diego, if you go back to 06, 05, 06, whatever, prices were going crazy, right? So, you'd buy a $700,000 house, and every 30 days you were making 30 grand in equity, and everybody felt rich, and everybody was richer then than they are today, right? Because everybody's playing with funny money. And again, well, hold on, I'll explain all the similarities. But so everybody's playing with funny money. And if everybody knows, hey, if I buy a $500,000 house and it goes up 20 grand in the last 30 days, why not buy $1 million house? Because that's going to go up 60 grand, right? So bullet point number 1, luxury market prices have a little bit stagnated. Days on market have increased. In the lower market, it's still accelerating. Okay, bullet point 2. If you look, well, hold on. I'm bouncing around here, but let me go back to this to the similarities in 2006. You know, one of the things that I saw in 2006, and something I see today, is an influx of new people getting into the market. And what I mean by that is an influx of new people raising their hand, saying, "Hey, I want to be a real estate agent. I want to sell real estate." And you know, there's something wrong when you go to the grocery store and that 22-year-old girl that's bagging your groceries says, "Hey, how are you? Like, do you need help out? And by the way, I'm getting my real estate license," right? And we're seeing that today, right now, right? Like everybody's getting into real estate because, again, market's going crazy. Everybody thinks if they're not in real estate, hey, it's really easy to make, a bunch of money. Okay, so similarities. Now, bullet point number 2. The average sales price has increased today to the highest it's ever been, ever. And guys, these bullet points that I'm telling you or I'm sharing with you, you should be concerned. You should really think about it because you need to react to the market. Okay, average sales price is the highest it's ever been. And I'll give you a great example. So in 2001, I bought my first house here in San Diego. But it's a little house. I just got married, and me and my wife just moved back here from Silicon Valley. So we buy a little built in 1946, 1,200 square feet, 2-bedroom. Well, it's 3-bedroom, 1 bath. And it's got a great lot. It's got giant trees on the lot, right? But again, 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, functionally obsolete in 2016, right? How you having 1 bathroom, obsolete, but whatever. I paid $221,000 for the place. In 2006, the high watermark for that property was about $480,000. That's great, right? And I was thinking, geez, that's awesome. I made a bunch of money on that thing. I bought it for $220,000. It's $480,000 today. Right now, that property is worth $580,000. And I can clap my hands and go, that's great. But I can also go, there's a problem. There is a problem when there's a 1946 house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,200 square feet is almost $600,000. Now, why are we seeing why is the average sales price the highest it's ever been in the market ever? It's due to the fact that we're dealing with almost free money. Again, if we go back to 2006, the money wasn't free. It was cheap-ish, but it was easy. We were swimming in easy money in 2006. In 2016, we're swimming in almost free money. Okay, so again, bullet point 1, luxury days on market increasing, the lower range accelerating. Bullet point number 2, average sales price is very, very high. Again, I would say artificially high due to the fact that we're living with almost free money. Now, bullet point number 3. Now, this is from an article written from Daily Solutions. Sorry, I was looking at my notes and I'm bouncing around. Anyhow, okay. And I'm recording this very early in the morning, so I'm not my usual self. But here's what this article said. And this, again, should be something for you to consider and something that you should be concerned about. And really, when I say concerned, what I mean by that is that you guys need to think about how you can shift and shimmy and adapt to the current market environment. You can't operate business as usual moving forward. You can't. And I'm telling you right now that you need to think about these bullet points and you need to think about how you can adjust to the market. Okay, so here's what the article said. U.S. home loan originations have decreased by 4% through the second quarter of 2016. What that means, right? There's less purchase money, mortgages happening. It's been reduced by 4%. The kicker in this is that while that purchase money loans have decreased, where there's been an increase, a rise in HELOCs. Okay, if you don't know, kind of that doesn't mean too much to you. I'll tell you what. So what happens at the end of every bubble, of every single bubble? Less people are applying for mortgages, less people are buying homes, and then the banks need to continue lending money, so they kick the doors wide open on HELOCs. Now, I don't watch TV. I watch movies, but I don't watch TV. But people who do watch TV have told me that what they're starting to see on the television is that they're seeing commercials for second lines of credit. So this should tell you that the markets have slowed. There's not as many buyers. Banks need to continue business as usual, and the only place they can go is second lines of credit. Now, there's been a fundamental problem in the market for a while now. And the problem is this, right? The typical market cycle is you enter the market, you buy your first starter house, right? You get a little equity, you get a promotion, you sell that house, and you move up and you move up and you move up until you finally get your forever home, right? That's been the cycle. And that cycle only works if there is someone to take your place in line. Right? Somebody who wants your starter home, and then somebody who wants to move up from their move up home, right? The problem in the market, and this is primarily, this is the sort of the millennials out there, right? Millennials are saddled with student loan debt. Now, the thing about student loan debt that I think is a little bit insidious is you cannot bankrupt it out. You can bankrupt everything else out. You can wipe it clean. But if you have $100,000, $150,000 of student loan debt, you cannot bankrupt it out. Now, one thing, when we look at the average prices being the highest they've ever been, and again, all these factors in the market, it is, again, despite the fact that we've not seen, certainly if you listen to the Obama administration or whatever, they're saying, hey, unemployment is at the lowest level in 8 years and all that stuff. And I'm not going to get into the politics of whether those are stable, blue collar jobs or white collar jobs. But I will tell you, no matter how you slice it, what we have not seen is an increase in wages. We've not seen an increase in salaries. And in reality, there's no way that prices should be what they are without that increase in salaries. Now, okay. So we're living in so again, we're in this environment where we're seeing artificially high prices due to the fact that money's almost free. And there's problems, right? There's problems. We can see the problems right now. We can see the problems in the luxury market that days on market are increasing. We're starting to see some pressure on prices. Now, the scary thing is that the Fed yesterday indicated that they're going to raise rates. If that happens, they are going to absolutely torpedo this market, right? Again, this life cycle of starter homes, move up home is already having problems. And then you increase rates, right? You take some of that artificialness of the free money out of the market, and then we're going to have problems. Okay? So the question that I would ask you is there a bubble? Is it starting to burst? Now, I'm not singing doom and gloom here, guys, at all. I'm just saying this is stuff you should be concerned about. Now, I will tell you, right, we have all heard that line that the word crisis in Chinese means opportunity. More money is made in down markets than in up markets. So if we are smart and we can adjust to the market, we can all get rich, right? Which is fantastic. So what do you need? What do you need to do? How do you need to shift your business if you and I and we all listening right now are recognizing that the bubble, well, number one, that there is a bubble. Number two, that it may be bursting. I would say this. The first thing that you guys really need, and this is something that most agents don't have, is a unique selling proposition, a unique value proposition. What makes you the guy, the girl that can sell my house, right? And look, of course we do radio. You guys know that. And, the USP, the unique value proposition that we do for all our clients in radio is, we're going to do a guaranteed sale. And we have a bunch of guaranteed sale programs that we have. And that's great. But what is your unique value proposition? Do you have one? You need one. So that's number one. You need to be different in the market. You need to be the person where somebody says, geez, I have waterfront property in Charlotte, North Carolina. Who do I need to call? And if you have a unique value proposition and you have a niche and you are producing content around that, when I ask, who should I call about my waterfront Charlotte, North Carolina property, you pop up. So there's lots of reasons. I won't get into why you should have a unique value proposition, but that's step number one. Now, step number two, just makes me think. I mean, again, if I go back to 2006, it makes me remember, there were so many people who thought they were rock stars, selling real estate. They thought they were killing it and they could do no wrong and they were geniuses. And then the shift happened. Right? The Lehman Brothers failed in 2008. And those people who thought they were rock stars went down simply because they didn't adapt. I know personally people who were killing it in real estate. These are people that owned like a bunch of commercial buildings, right? And where they housed their teams, and they had millions of dollars in the bank. The market tanks. They don't adapt. They keep spending on their buildings, and these guys wrote it down to zero. I know guys right now who are working in the buildings of the building a team, working in the building that they used to own. They don't own anymore. So it is really important. And again, these are guys that didn't have a unique value proposition, didn't have a unique sales proposition. So be different. Now, where can we start? If you're listening to this, where can you start right now to shift and shimmy with the market? And I would say there's some very simple things, and there's some very free things that you can do, right? So, and there are some paid things, right? And if we think about leads, right, obviously we need to be able to think about classifying them into, and I think you should do this with everything, right? Online, offline. Whatever marketing you're going to do, advertising you're going to do, right? What are offline things? What are online things? What are the free things? What are the paid things? And you should have a mix of everything, mix of online, mix of offline, mix of free versus paid. But, some of the free things that you guys can do is, what are those Facebook groups, right? FSBO Facebook groups. What Facebook groups out there where you can find your ideal client? And what we're going to see, right, as we get into this, if it's true that the bubble is starting to burst, and if it's true that we are in a bubble, we'll start to see those kinds of groups, right? This kind of buyer react to the market, or I'm sorry, seller react to the market. And we just need to be there. We need to just be in the right place at the right time when they're ready to take action. So, sorry, guys. I hope this was not a crazy, huge bummer for you, but it's sort of a realization that I had yesterday, and I thought I should let you guys know. And if you're not, I can tell you, if you're not doing something in terms of, too many of you guys want to do the free stuff in terms of leads, and you don't want to invest in yourself, whether that's investing in a coach or investing in advertising, investing in marketing. You guys need to invest. You cannot. This drives me crazy about real estate agents. And what drives me crazy is the fact that every single business, whether you're a contractor or a dentist or whatever, every single business needs to invest in property, plant, and equipment. Everybody knows, even if you're if you get your general contractor's license, you go, I'm going to go build houses, I'm going to do remodels, I'm going to do roofs, whatever. You need a truck. People go out and you buy a brand new Ford F-250 diesel truck. That's $75,000, right? Then you have to buy all the tools, and then you still have to do in marketing. And what drives me nuts about real estate agents is the fact that for some reason, most of real estate agents, and hopefully you guys are not in this group. Most of you guys think, oh, well, I don't need to invest. I'll do it all free. I'll go door knocking. I'll get some cards and that's all I need. And that is a recipe for failure. That's a recipe for it's not going to happen. And the other weird mindset I see with real estate agents is the fact that we know as salespeople that we don't get paid until we perform. And there's weird, really strange notion that a lot of real estate agents have, and they want. I've gotten emails like this. They're like, and here's. I don't get paid till I do a deal. I want to have a VA and I want to have an assistant. I want to have all this stuff, but I only want them to get paid when they book me an appointment, right? They want to pass the risk down. And as a business owner, we need to invest in talent. We need to invest. Luckily, you guys don't need to invest in property, plant, equipment. The only thing you need to invest in is marketing. And that is going to be more and more important as the market starts to go down. Because what happens, this is something I see in radio. I see this in radio, and again, it drives me crazy, right? So we get into November and December. Now, I don't know how long you guys have been in real estate, but I can tell you in terms of listings, November is a great time. I've had properties that have been weird properties, right? You're never supposed to buy the biggest house on the block. I've done that a few times as investments. I've literally bought a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, 2,800 square feet in a neighborhood of 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,200 square feet houses. Now, do you know how hard that is to sell when you have this giant house that's twice as big as anything else? Number one, you never get the price per square foot that everybody else is getting. But anyhow, that's really hard to sell. I had this one house that I bought. I held it for 2 years because it would not close. But every single time that I would get offers and I would get it into escrow has been in November. So November is a great time to sell your house because everybody thinks, right? Everybody follows the crowd, right? There's so many sheeple, right? Sheeple out there that they're like, oh, it's November. There's no buyers, right? Death of the salesman. There's no buyers. I'm going to take my house off the market. Well, okay. So a lot of people take their house off the market. That means there's less inventory. And all of a sudden, my house, right? Your house, gets more views. And again, I would always get into escrow in November. But how does that relate to people and marketing? Well, I see this again, this same analogy. I see it in radio. People go, geez, nobody's buying. Same stupid mentality. Nobody's buying in November, December. Hey, Toby, let's take us off the air because I don't want to spend the money in November, December. And I'm like, you're insane, dude. That is what every single idiot out there is doing, is they're saying nobody's buying or selling, so I'm going to pull my marketing. Well, if everybody pulls their marketing, but you're the guy who is marketing, like who's going to get the views, right? You're going to rise to the top. So, again, don't follow the crowd. Don't be like the rest of the sheeple. You have to be different. Whether from a marketing perspective, in terms of what you do, when you do, and how you do it. Again, what is your unique value proposition? What is your unique sales proposition? All right. Sorry. I got on a rant. All right. Hey, that's it. You know what you can do? You know what you can do for me? Well, number one, what you can do for me is go to iTunes and leave a rating and review. That would be cool. I would appreciate that. And by the way, this crazy little show, I mean, I don't know if you look at like our ranking on iTunes in the business category. Dude, we're always top 100 and we're competing against hundreds of thousands of shows, which is awesome. It's so fun to do this show. But so you can leave a rating review. But the other thing you can do for me is what I would love for you guys to do for you is look at your market. Look at that luxury range. Look at the upper end. And when I say look at it, literally break it down neighborhood by neighborhood. Because if you, and look at where you see days on market increasing, because that's where you're going to find motivated sellers. The area, the neighborhoods, the rolling hills estates, for example, right? Whatever, in your market, if you start to see days on market increasing, number one, that you're going to start to see pressure on prices, and then you're going to start to see price reductions. So that's where you need to put your energy. So do the research for yourself and report back to me. Tell me what you're seeing in your market. I would love to actually put something together, kind of like a heat map, from California to Orlando, Florida. Okay, that's it. Appreciate you tuning in. Go to the site, superagentslive.com. Subscribe if you haven't. Go to the website. I just said that, didn't I? Again, I told you it's early. On Twitter, I'm at superagentslive. Look, join the conversation. Go get them, you guys. Hopefully this was helpful.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%